All right, so I can't take credit for ownership of this bike. It's my buddy Kevin's bike. But I did own a Honda CB350 many years back, and it was one of my favorite bikes in my collection, and I still kind of regret selling it. So he has this absolutely cherry 1970 Honda CL175 K2, and frankly, it's one of the nicer 175s that I have seen. Now, a little history about these. These were developed in the late 60s and had production from 68 to 73. This is a twin cylinder 175cc 4-stroke. It makes an astonishing 19 horsepower, and it is mated to a 5-speed transmission. It's got twin carburetors, and the designation CL Scrambler is mainly due to these Scrambler style pipes. They had a multitude of Honda CL and CB variants. You could get as small as, I believe, a 125, maybe even smaller, as well as high as up to a CB 350, 450. I think they even had a CL 450 variant, and then obviously the CB series, you could get up to like a CB 750. I'm not super up to par on the entire lineage of Honda Scrambler models, but I do know some about these late 60s, early 70 variants, and they are absolutely fantastic. And why I say you should always have one of these in your garage is, number one, it's an era of motorcycles where you could have something break, which is rare on a Honda, but if it did, you could fix it. This bike is very DIY, do it yourself, or I should say DIY. They're fantastic motorcycles. Parts are easily obtainable for them even to this day. Unlike where my Yamaha R5 2-stroke, parts are starting to get a little bit harder to find for that. This, parts are easy to get for it. There's a multitude of websites that sell parts for this, brand new parts. You can essentially build one from the ground up. And that to me is a very, very important aspect when considering a vintage motorcycle. Now, this is all original, which is amazing. It's in phenomenal shape. He is unfortunately going to probably sell this, so if you are on the market for one of these, this is the bike to own. Now, its red line is 10,500 RPM. It does show 100 miles an hour on the speedo. I believe that the top speed of a 175 is right about 72 miles an hour, maybe 75. This has both electric start as well as a kick start, which is a pretty neat feature. It does have rear pegs for a passenger. Now, someone asked, like, would you be, commuting to one of these all the time? No, I would not. On a 175, especially if I had to get on the highway, I absolutely would not. It'll do highway speeds, but you're also pinning that motor. It's a dangerous scenario that I feel like if you're doing that every single day, it's gonna bite you in the butt, or something's gonna break. I don't know. If you were commuting one of these in the city limits, like a few blocks through downtown or that, absolutely. This would be the perfect city cruising commuter motorcycle, in my opinion, where you could ride to a coffee shop a few blocks down the road from your apartment, and it just looks good. I feel like these bikes have aged incredibly well. The mechanics of these bikes is also phenomenal. Drum brakes all the way around. I mean, just look at the dynamic of, I don't know. In today's modern motorcycle society, everything's getting so technically advanced, and I feel like you can never go wrong with an old Honda in your garage, and they really have stood the test of time when it comes to a stylish yet reliable motorcycle. Now, we'll go for a ride on this. We're just gonna go for a short ride around the block area and some of the roads, and you'll just kind of get a brief idea. It might be completely wind blocked by the noise, so I can't promise you anything will get picked up on the audio, but I will try my best. Price point for one of these, well, they range. You can still find some smoking deals on them. They have gotten more collectible. Average market price for these is about 2,500 bucks. I've seen deals as low as 500 bucks. Maybe 5 to 10 years ago, you could pick these up for 350 to 700 bucks all day long in running condition. A meticulous one, you're probably gonna pay more, between the 3 to 5K range, and that's a meticulous one. Would I choose a 175 over a 350? That is completely up to preference of the rider. Both are fantastic bikes. Obviously the 350 will have significantly more power, but that doesn't mean that a 175 doesn't fit the purpose either. They're both great in their own category, and well, for me, I like the little nimble smallness of this comparative to like my 350 was considerably bigger. But I mean, just, it looks good. Frankly, it's a really good looking bike. So let's fire it up and see how she rides. So we're gonna turn our key on right here. Make sure that we are in neutral. So it's 1 down, 4 up. Kick starts. For a 175cc, it sounds absolutely fantastic. It almost sounds like a miniature Triumph. And I say that with a ton of love. It really does sound good. You'd never expect this to be a 175 if this was blocked. And you're wondering how many cc. Yeah, that sounds amazing. always say if a motorcycle puts a smile on your face, even with 175 cc's, that's a good motorcycle. This thing sounds absolutely incredible. It's actually much quicker than I expected. For 19 horsepower, I didn't expect much, and it actually is considerably quicker. It pulls all the way through. In fact, it pulls harder the higher the RPMs go. Right around the 6K range, it starts really pulling all the way to redline, which is pretty impressive. The sound, I mean, it is a small bike, so it's obviously inherently going to be more nimble than a traditionally bigger bike, but it's very nimble. The drum brakes are honestly, they stop great. Shifting is really crisp with the gears. I mean, overall, I'm gonna keep riding this once we're done with this video because it's really fun. For 175cc, the miles per mile is quite high. It's overall, it's a great bike, and I would advise if you want one of these, you've been looking at one of these, absolutely think about getting one because they're phenomenal. They're so much fun. They're easy to work on. Parts are easy to get for them. Price point, they're still affordable. They're still obtainable. If you are on the market for one, obviously one that runs is a much better choice than one that doesn't. You can run into issues like low compression. You know, there's a multitude of things. So find one that's running, will probably be less of a headache. Synchronizing both carbs can be sometimes a pain for some. Other people, it's a breeze. My CL Scrambler was a little bit of a pain to synchronize the carbs, but overall, these are great motorcycles. There's a ton of information on them and aftermarket options, and yeah, there's no reason why you shouldn't have one in your garage. So definitely approved. This one will be for sale soon, so definitely check back. And thanks for watching. Hit that like and subscribe button, and well, I'm gonna go ride this some more because it is absolutely a joy.